Colorado. The very first numbers are in since recreational pot became legal this year, and the marijuana industry is making a lot of money. From the $14 million spent in Colorado on recreational pot use alone in January, and from both recreational and medicinal pot sales in the same period, the state raked in more than $3.5 million in taxes and fees. That is a lot of green. It's in line with expectations, but at the high end, and there are reasons to expect once licensors are in place and awareness of shops increases, that number could go up. Are other states inspired by this gold rush? Medical marijuana is legal in California, but Governor Jerry Brown said on Meet the Press recently that he's worried about the larger effects of a pothead population on society.
All of a sudden, if there's advertising and legitimacy, how many people can get stoned and still have a great state or a great nation? World's pretty dangerous, very competitive. I think we need to stay alert, if not 24 hours a day, more than some of the potheads might be able to put together.
How many people can stay stoned and still have a great nation? I don't know. I think that's probably a lot. His Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom disagreed this past weekend and sees some financial incentive in legalizing recreational pot. Remember, that's in addition to the already legal medicinal marijuana, as states to the north and south of California have already done. Take a listen.
For almost 20 years now, we've sat back admiring our accomplishment while the world, the nation, and states like Colorado and Washington have passed us by. It's time to legalize, it's time to tax, it's time to regulate marijuana for adults in California.
So exactly how much money are other states losing by not following Colorado's model? Joining me now to discuss is Mason Tvert of the Marijuana Policy Project. He is a pro-pot lobbyist who Politico recently described as the Don Draper of pot. But does he look as good in a suit? You be the judge. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So, Mason, a state like California netted up to $105 million in 2012 on taxes from medicinal marijuana alone, which is already legal. Are they missing out on a big opportunity here to legalize recreational marijuana and benefit from potentially hundreds of millions of dollars more?
Without a doubt, you know, this is an incredibly popular product, and right now it's being largely sold in an underground market where all of the revenue is going toward cartels and other criminal enterprises, when it could otherwise be going to legitimate tax-paying businesses that are creating legal jobs and really putting that money back into our communities.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. In Colorado, that money is going to schools, a big chunk of it. There's a specific earmark for the building of schools. If pot were legal around the country, what kind of an economic impact could you see it having, and what would you like to see earmarked for benefit from those revenues?
Well, ultimately, this is going to come down to each state and how they feel is most appropriate when it comes to distributing the taxes and what the tax rate should be. You know, it's obviously important that we don't overtax this product to the extent that the underground market persists. But at the same time, we are going to see things change. We're going to start to see people treating marijuana more like alcohol, where the cost is simply the cost that they grow accustomed to. And you know, whether that money goes toward public school construction or to transportation and roads or to drug treatment for people who are suffering from alcoholism and other substance abuse, there's really a whole lot of things we could be doing with this money as opposed to just flushing it down the toilet, quite frankly, into the underground market.
Mm-hmm. This Thursday, Denver is going to hold its first ever marijuana-themed job fair called, I'm not kidding, Canna Search. Time reports that at least 15 employers in the cannabis industry are looking to hire there. What kind of effect is the pot legalization movement having on job numbers? Could that be a positive impact to this?
Without a doubt, you know, you're talking about hundreds of new businesses, each of them having anywhere from 3 to 50 employees. I mean, this is a lot of people now who have jobs, who are perhaps no longer receiving unemployment, who are now paying their taxes, and it's really a huge benefit. And this is not to mention the amount of business that's now being generated for ancillary industries, you know, things like contractors, the construction industry, real estate, financial and accounting services. You know, all of these new legal marijuana businesses require those services just like any other business. And as a result, it's really a much bigger impact for our economy than just the tax revenue itself.
All right. Mason Tvert, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.